So, people are really having a difficult time with this whole mask issue. Where I'm living right now, which is in the state of Michigan. Fortunately, I do not live near one of the shithole metropolitan areas like Lansing, Detroit, any of those suburbs, because they're being given a green light, and by they I mean people who the clueless governor and attorney general, but let's be real, maybe they do have a clue about what they're doing. Maybe the homosexual proxy warrior and the Me Too movement poster child are both implementing Marxist tactics to usurp the Republic. If you look at the fact that our state has state troopers, which protect the governor's interest and do nothing else. Well, let me say this. This might just be a humble opinion, but aside from running drugs all over the state, they do nothing else but protect the governor's interest. That being said, these people, because the sheriffs, well, the non-corrupt, constitutionally bound sheriffs in the state of Michigan are doing a great job. They're not enacting these orders. But once again, the MSP, basically the leg breakers for Governor Whitlis, have decided that they will fine and investigate businesses and do their darndest to financially collapse the economy of nearly a collapsed state as it is. There's not a lot to really say about it. Joe Biden picked Kamala Harris instead of Gretchen Whitmer, because Gretchen Whitmer and Kamala Harris are basically the same person. Kamala became very famous in her arena in California by sleeping with an elderly mayor, Willie Brown. And Gretchen Whitmer, although I'm not accusing her of sleeping with anyone, was definitively one of these Me Too following a Melissa Milano types. I've been harassed forever. No, you haven't. No, you haven't. If you stick your tits in somebody's face and they look at them, I'm sorry, it's not harassment. That's just natural. That's men and women. If someone was to touch you, someone was to text you their dick, that is not good. But this whole narrative is basically based upon three things. One is enslave the people, put their mask on, do what we say or we bankrupt you. Two is, if you don't do what we say, your children will be punished, your grandparents will be punished. Because let's be honest, this is who they're going after, old people and children. And third is, anyone who disagrees with the governor or the homosexual proxy warrior attorney general, Dana Nessel, is putting public health at risk. But the Marxist, fraudulent Black Lives Matter, who have been given a green light by this idiot who now says Michigan has a racist epidemic. These are all things you can't prove. They're all subjective. The real thing is they want to replace God. Fauci, Trump, Biden, Harris, Whitmer, etc., etc., simply want to take God out of your life. They want to become God. And so what I say to you is this: is this, I'm sorry. Stop being afraid. Don't wear your mask anymore. Don't tell people why you're not wearing a mask. I went into a really large box store in my little town up here the other day, and I'm just going to say, everybody knows what box store it is because it's one of the only ones that's still open. And I was in an aisle with a young woman. She was an extremely nice woman, and of course I don't wear a mask, and so when she saw me, she pulled her mask down over her nose. And I asked her what would happen. I said, if you don't mind, can I ask you a question? And if you don't want me to, I have no problem doing it. I just thought I would ask you. She said, hey, I don't have any problem. I had acknowledged her and greeted her when I passed her in the aisle. She's a hard worker, as all of these employees are. They are just stuck. They're afraid that if they don't do what the boss says, and by the boss I mean right up the chain, if they don't do what the boss says, they lose their way of living. Tyranny, terrorism, being purported by your own local, state, federal governments. Okay? So I explained to her that I just wanted to ask if she were to not wear a mask, what would happen to her? And she essentially told me, I don't know. I'm not really sure. I take it off as soon as I get off of work, and I've had managers stop me in the store after I'm off the clock and say, hey, you need to be wearing a mask. And I'm like, oh, sorry, I already threw it away. And so I just asked her, would you do that? And she honestly told me, I've thought about doing it every single day. And I thanked her for her time. I also explained to her that I agreed with her 100%. While it is someone's prerogative to wear a mask, hey, you want to cover your face up in a slave muzzle? You want to put hey, heck, I don't care. As long as you're not on the road and going to hurt me or my family, put a trash bag over your head. Okay, real tight. I mean, like duct tape that sucker around the neck real good. So you're not going to have any exposure. Your eyes, your nose, your mouth, they'll all be covered. It'll be great. But I just really had this connection with this person, and we both agreed. If you want to wear a mask because you want to protect yourself, or because in your state of delusional paranoia and hyperactivity from watching too much CNN and MSN and Fox News and whatever else, you can wear your mask. You are in a free country. If it was that bad, there would be soldiers on the street, police on the corners, and you couldn't leave your house. Restaurants wouldn't be open. Porn stores wouldn't be open. Abortion clinics wouldn't be open. But instead, the Marxists have closed the churches, turned the schools into cattle yards, and simply are holding the population hostage. Get out of the fear mindset. God has blessed you. There is only one race. We are the human race. Black, white, trans, gay. There are two genders. There's a male and a female. If you destroy your body and you had a penis and you turned it into a vagina, you have went against the Creator. And so you're no longer a man, but you're not a woman either. Bizarro World doesn't hold anything to a man of faith. It doesn't scare a family who is standing upon the rock. I'm not a big preacher type, but I just say this. The world has a sin problem. If we can get together, if we can focus our energies, if we can make it better for the next generations instead of selling every one of them out like we've been sold out, then, and only then, will you make America great again. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you on the next one.